What's happening, everyone? JayShockblast here, and check it out. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is available now, and I have unlocked every single character there is to unlock. 380 of 380 characters. There are so many ways that you can unlock these characters. You can unlock them through regular gameplay of the levels. There are obviously characters located throughout the land. Some of them you have to complete prerequisite quests before they'll even show up on the map. It's pretty crazy. Lots of stuff to do to keep you occupied. In this video, we are going to show off every single character in the game. And I have gone through and I think I got every single one in this video. If I missed somebody, I apologize, but I don't think I did. It took me quite a while to record this, so I hope everybody appreciates it. I know this is a video that I've done a bunch of times for all the different Lego games, and it seems to be the one that a lot of people love to see from me. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share it everywhere that you talk about Lego video games. Let's get this one up there, man. I worked really hard on this video. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and check out all the characters from Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. So let's get into the Jedi, and as you can see, we have a number of different unique Jedi right here on the screen. Starting off with Aayla Secura, who is fantastic. Twi'lek, obviously, and definitely one that we've seen in a number of Star Wars games before. We also have Luminara Unduli, another Master Jedi that a lot of people will probably be pretty excited about. We have Yaddle for the first time ever. So she is definitely very different. One of the first characters I think they ever introduced that would be coming to the game as a screenshot. Then there's Yoda. Obviously, Yoda is not as unique as he used to be, because first there was a Yaddle and now there's a Grogu. But Yoda is still the ultimate in Jedi Masters. So there he is, and of course he looks awesome. Per usual, they always do a really good job with Yoda. Then we have Plo Koon, definitely another awesome Jedi Master who did not survive executing of Order 66. You got little Cad Bane Jr. over here trying to offer him some chicken. But little did he know, Plo Koon, vegan, made that up. Here is Yarael Poof, who generally announces himself when he comes in. Kind of wish I could get rid of those bars, and maybe I can. He is a very weird looking Jedi. He's I don't know if they're considered Geonosian, but same race of people that are on not Geonosis, wherever the clones come from. I'm blanking and it's bothering me, so let's take a look right in this exact moment. Kaminin, basically. Yes, there he is. Then we have Shaak Ti, one of my absolute favorites on my top 10 favorite character list. She looks fantastic in this game. Definitely the best they've ever made her as a Lego minifig. Then we have Ki-Adi-Mundi, another Master Jedi. Never noticed his little ponytail before, but again, he is a character that has definitely been in a bunch of different Lego games, and this is obviously his best version as well. We have Jocasta Nu, the librarian, making her first appearance in a Lego game, and she's certainly interesting, certainly something. And then Barra Sophie, who I believe has also been in other Lego games before, but we have her and her Master Luminara. Obviously, Barris a little rocky with the whole Jedi crew. Maybe got to soak in a little bit of hot water. So needless to say, there we go, and we're back to Aayla Secura. So that is some of the 45 Jedi, all that just basically have one variation. Here are some more Jedi. Speaking of Jedi, how about Luke Skywalker and the many different versions of him? As you can see here, we have 10 different variations of Luke Skywalker out. None cooler than this one right here, where he actually has Yoda on him as a backpack. This is honestly one of the cooler minifigs they've been able to do in the game, and I love it. I'm not like a huge Yoda guy for sure, but like it's super cool to see it, you know. Then we also have this version of Luke Skywalker from Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. This is right before the showdown at the end with the Emperor. You can notice he's got his artificial hand. And then you've got Endor Luke, also from Return of the Jedi. And you have Old Man Luke on crate. Now, they all have, like, introduction lines. I don't know what that is. They all have introduction lines, which are pretty cool. And he usually complains about wanting to be left alone. Of course, it's not going to play them because I have them all on screen right now. But you can see right here, you have another version of Luke from his flashback, where he's wearing all white. Here is another trip to Dagobah in Episode 5 for Luke Skywalker. So basically, it's a lot like that Yoda, but without Yoda. Then we have his Hoth version, and throws his blue lightsaber. And then this obviously is the version of Luke Skywalker from when they go to Jabba's palace. He's got his hood up. You could even maybe argue that this is the version from The Mandalorian, but I digress. You notice he's got a green lightsaber for this one. And then you've got his flashback training. This is when he's training with Leia. They're both wearing these masks, and there is a version of Leia as a Jedi wearing that one. Here you have Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. This is before his hand is unceremoniously chopped off. And then we go back to here. But guess what? That's not even all of the Luke Jedi. That was just 10 of them. There is also, for some people, the classic variation.
Will guide you to victory.
So there you go right there. He's got a little nice intro. This is from the classic 1999 first set. You can see one of his idle animations is drinking blue milk in the background. And then I did mention Leia as having her version as well. Might as well bust that out here. This is Leia's training flashback.
The Alliance will prevail.
So you've basically got the two different flashback scene versions of Leia and Luke. It would have been really cool if for Leia they did have a Jedi version without the helmet, but I digress. So, man, look at all that Luke Skywalker. And that's not even all of the Luke Skywalker there is. Luke also can be found, if we go into the villain section, Luke has his Stormtrooper variation.
Protect the galaxy.
So you got Luke as a Stormtrooper. And then there's even more Luke Skywalker. If you go into extra, I think we have a Luke in here. You have Luke with the raincoat.
Luke Skywalker, Jedi legend. Yeah, right.
Now he does not have a lightsaber. He's got like a little kendo stick, as we see from the movie. And then there is also another version under extra. So many Luke Skywalkers, it's kind of crazy. But, I mean, it is the Skywalker Saga.
Yes, I'm really here this time. Now let me carry on with my business.
So this is obviously his Octo look, where he also has the staff. So, look at that. Like, just so many Lukes. And we're not even done with some of the Jedi. You thought that was all the Lukes. No way. There were actually 3 other Lukes under Hero. Here you have Episode 4 Luke, where he is fresh off the farm and he's got himself a gun. Then you also have this version of Luke right here, where he is the fighter pilot and also with a gun. This is one of my favorite versions of Luke. I love Luke in his fighter pilot suit. And then you have the hero of Yavin, Luke Skywalker from the Yavin ceremony. He also has a blaster. And this is actually pretty cool. They've got the different ceremony minifigs, which is pretty awesome. So much Luke. So obviously there was a lot of Luke, and guess who else there's a lot of? There's a lot of Anakin, and that makes a lot of sense. It is the Skywalker Saga, and we have many different generations of Skywalkers. As you can see, we have an Episode 2 version of Anakin. In the background, there is his capeless version that you can actually see a couple of them breaking out their lightsabers, and they start off red and they have to tap them and they go blue. Kind of cool. This obviously, he's got his little rat tail kind of going down. And here's one, basically the same thing without a cape. You know, he's got his green lightsaber. And then you've got the classic Clone Wars era Anakin that we all know and love. Obviously, Episode 3 Anakin. And there he is as well without his cape. Definitely my favorite version of Anakin, personally. There's also youngling Anakin, pod racer Anakin. And then here he is without the helmet. And then here he is with a different helmet. So 3 different versions of young Anakin. And then you get into the Sith version of Anakin, who still has a blue lightsaber because he hasn't fully turned. I love this version because of those Sith eyes. They're pretty dope. And then you have burnt to a crisp Anakin. This is after Obi-Wan does his number on him. So there you go there. And of course, we'll do Darth Vader separately, but you do also have a few different versions of Anakin as Darth Vader. So lots of Anakin. There's different categories. You got extra, you got Sith or dark side, and of course you've got Jedi. So and it makes sense. I mean, it's the Skywalker Saga, so you got to have every little variation. Speaking of Master Jedi, we have Mace Windu. There's 2 variations of him. You have him with and without his cape. I obviously prefer him with his cape. And as you can see, he's got his classic purple lightsaber, which Samuel L. Jackson actually requested himself. He said he just wanted a purple lightsaber, and George made it so. So these are obviously 2 huge Jedi. You know, Mace Windu is definitely one of the most legendary. But you know who's super legendary? Hello there. It is Mr. Obi-Wan Kenobi himself. You have his Episode 2 robe. This is probably my favorite one, I think. I like his hair. Looks pretty cool. And then you have him in Episode 3. A little bit of a better beard. You obviously have him with a cape from Episode 3. And then you have him from Episode 1. A little soul patch. And then you have him without his cape and his little rat tail. Then you have Old Man Kenobi. Alright, and that's pretty cool. And then you have Old Man Kenobi with no hood up. And then you have Classic Obi-Wan. Now, this was DLC if you pre-order digitally. So I'm sure it'll be available to everybody with the Season Pass at some point. It's really cool. And there are also some really cool, when interactions is the word I'm looking for. So if we go into here and we choose, let's just choose Anakin.
Master Windu, can I please be made a Jedi Master? Please! I am ready.
Let me think about that for a second. No.
That is not the interaction I was expecting. That is even cooler. So if we go into Mace Windu and change him to a different Anakin.
Come on, Master. Let's go. The galaxy needs us.
Why do I get the feeling you're going to be the death of me?
That's not even the one I was thinking of either, which is great. And then you can actually go in. You can go to Darth Vader.
You will feel the power of the dark side.
Well, that was just generic. Let's see. So for whatever reason, I had him in here before. Oh, what happens if we do this? I had him in before, and he had said something to Obi-Wan about the pleasure being all his. So, I don't know. But in any event, there are some pretty cool interactions, and we did see one with Anakin and one with both Mace and Obi-Wan. So that's pretty much rounding out our Jedi. All right, so we have Ben Solo as a Jedi.
It's
and
Ben now, by the way.
Once we actually launch him in, he does sometimes say something. He did say it's Ben now, by the way. So it was not an actual, like, chat with one of the many different variations of Rey that we have. But, you know, Ben has his own Jedi light side version from when he does kind of, you know, redeem himself at the end of episode 9. But as far as Rey is concerned, holy cow. Here she is as Rey Skywalker with her yellow lightsaber. She has 9 different versions, 3 of which are Scavenger. I'll probably show them again in the Scavenger section. And then one of which is Dark Side. So Rey Skywalker obviously is probably one of my favorite ones because she's got the yellow lightsaber. Then you have her kind of Jedi wrap, where she's got the blue lightsaber. Here she is from Kijimi, where she's got her hood. And then of course you have her from episode 7, which I think looks really cool. This is when she shows up on Octo. And then you have our episode 9, which really the only difference between episode 9 and Rey Skywalker is the lightsaber, but this is how they had to do it. Then you have one of the cooler versions, right? This is from the vision that she sees in episode 9. And her lightsaber is super cool.
That wasn't good.
I love the way it opens up. And if you look at it, it's kind of got the same type of, kyber crystal as Kylo Ren has, where it's a little unstable, and you're able to kind of get that energy projection look. I do wish there was a way to take her hood down, but you know, it's still an awesome dark side, version of Rey. I love using this as one of my dark side characters. Then you have Scavenger Rey from Starkiller Base. You have her with her gray vest and her big staff, and then you have her just from the beginning of episode 7 with just the staff. So lots and lots of Rey. One of my favorite characters in the game. A bunch of different variations, which is really, really cool, I think. And yeah, let's keep moving. We also have 3 versions of Qui-Gon Jinn, all of which you can see on screen right here. Obviously, this version, he is on Tatooine. Kind of got his little vest on. And then this kind of middle one is without the cape. And then the one on the far right has his cape. So, it's just different versions that you have to correlate and coincide with the different scenes. So yeah, Qui-Gon. Alright, it is time to look at some of the dark side characters as they all kind of come running in. And there are few characters cooler in the dark side of the Force than Darth Maul himself. Episode 1, I think that was one of the big things that came from it, was how sick Darth Maul was as a Sith. He's got his double lightsaber, which is absolutely amazing. There is also a variation of him where he has no hood on. And look at some of his moves. Like, just the animations are phenomenal. Such a cool thing. Ray Park is amazing. Not only was Ray Park Darth Maul, but he was also Snake Eyes. So yeah, we got 2 different versions of Darth Maul. Of course, we also have Snoke, who surprisingly pretty cool. No lightsaber or anything, but he does do, all your force powers and whatnot. It's actually kind of funny when you unlock him. I absolutely love the quest that you get to do when you do that. It was actually kind of cool. And the way that he appears. And then he just kind of marches around Exegol. Then you have the Emperor. This is the clone version of the Emperor. And I love it how he can go back and forth from his lightsaber and his walking stick. And then the Emperor also has his version from Return of the Jedi, I would imagine. They all do their different force powers. I don't know, man. The Emperor is pretty cool. You also have him as Chancellor Palpatine. This is his red duds. And then obviously there's a version where his face is all deformed after a little bit of Force lightning. And then you have a younger Senator Palpatine. And of course you have old man Chancellor Palpatine. And then of course there's Count Dooku. And they did phenomenal work with Count Dooku as well. He has like a fantastic grip for his lightsaber. And he also is very, very proper when he doesn't have it equipped. You can see his style for using the lightsaber is very different. And there's just different forms of lightsaber battle. And then he puts it away, and he's very proper. So lots of dark side characters and little different variations of each of them. Plus we also have... So finishing off the dark side, we have Kylo Ren and Darth Vader. We already possibly saw their interaction. I think I have these guys slotted after the Jedi. He has some pretty interesting animations. He throws his little Darth Vader... his little Darth Vader toy right there, then he picks it up. And yeah, so there's a bunch of different variants of Kylo, as you can see right here. He has no scar, and then there's this version where he's got no helmet and he does have a scar. There is also the Ben Swolo, so they kind of walked right into that meme, and it was great. Then you have Kylo with his helmet, which is pretty cool. And then this is my favorite version right here. Kylo Ren with the red kind of pieced together mask after he had it destroyed. So yeah, I definitely love that one. I love the animation where he's got the little Vader toy, but he's pretty much raging all the time. Like, he's always angry, which makes sense. Speaking of Vader, we have Unmasked Vader. If you got the deluxe edition, there's a slide sleeve that goes over the outer box, and you can slide it up and down so that the helmet looks like it's coming on and off. Super cool. I don't remember if we've had this version of Darth Vader in a previous LEGO game, but I love the way that they actually ended up doing this. This is only available with a code, and I obviously have a video with all the codes in the description, so we'll have that linked. And basically it's a holiday Darth Vader with a sweater. And then this is your traditional OG Darth Vader. Not too many different ways to do Darth Vader, but there is, because we have the original classic character pack version of Darth Vader. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man, like, I feel like I used that version more than any other. I don't always use a lot of the more popular characters. I like to use some more unknown, but this version of Vader, for some reason, it's very basic, and it just feels so, because it is a classic variation of the character. I don't know, man, I just really loved it. So those are some of the amazing dark side characters. I love how they're all just all huddled up there. Alright, next up we have the Bounty Hunters, and look at this collection of characters. Good lord, if you see this crew coming, you better walk the other way. Look at them. Oh man. So first off, we have Rothgar Dang, who is sort of in one of the newer trilogy movies. Obviously he's got his old blaster rifle, and it's cool and all that, but kind of a not the most known character for sure. Also, Aura Singh, quite the opposite, very well known, obviously from episode 1. She's been on the Clone Wars quite a bit, and definitely a character a lot of people should be very familiar with right there. Then we have Bazine Natal, also a character that we saw in episode 7. She's the one that calls in and lets the Empire know that everybody is at Maz's castle, so she's kind of a jerk. Next up we have Karib Dis, and that is a face only a mother could love, and I don't even think she does, so yeah. Then carrying on, one of the original characters that we saw in episode 5 on the Bounty Hunter wall, this is Forlom, and he obviously looks good. You're always going to see Forlom. Like, he's just one of those bounty hunters. You're always going to see him in one of these games. You just have to. Speaking of, also, you have Zuckuss, his little friend. Basically, they work well together. Forlom is a droid, and Zuckuss is he a Gand, I think, is the name of the race? alien species, and they work together well because he breathes toxic air. There's Dengar, and Dengar looks actually really good in this game. I am not usually a huge fan of Dengar, but he actually looks really dope, and he is actually has a pretty cool backstory. I think they usually portray him as being a little bit bulkier, and this version of Dengar seems a little bit more slimmed down. So definitely looks really, really cool. We have IG-88, another of the famous Bounty Hunter wall members. So, he's got that droid cylindrical head. And then we also have Bosk. Everybody should know Bosk. Everybody should love Bosk. Bosk is Trandoshan, classic character. Definitely one that, a lot of people really, really loved. So it makes sense to have him back in action. Then we have Greedo, who shot second. And you can't have Greedo, a Star Wars story, especially Episode 4 worthy, without Greedo. We have Jango Fett right here. This is basically his unarmed and unarmored, not unarmed, but unarmored version. So Toon Morrison. And then you've got his armor, which is really cool looking. Don't get me wrong, I definitely like this version of Jango. But man, how sick would it have been if his armor was like shiny and more metallic? That would have been super dope, but I still like it. It was like one of my top 3 favorite characters in the game. So speaking of Jango, Boba, best character in the game, right here. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. Gotta love Boba Fett. Just fantastic through and through. Oh man, I love that he's got like him and Jango both have this like little like cocky pose, like yeah, I'm awesome, I know it. Then we have the Mandalorian, obviously. Grogu is usually with him, and obviously you need to have the Mandalorian pack in order to have the Mandalorian, Din Djarin. One thing to consider though with Din is that in order to do the glitch kind of where we've got all these characters, you basically use him, which is why Grogu's not on the screen. But he also has that like kind of nice little like pose where he's very sure of himself. Also from the Mandalorian DLC, Grief Karga, obviously Carl Weathers' character. So he does some pretty cool stuff. All the bounty hunters are basically the same. And then finally we have another IG unit, IG-11. Is definitely different than IG-88, as you can see, barely. But yeah, man, the bounty hunter class is definitely one of my favorites. You probably saw me use a bunch of different bounty hunters throughout the game. It was a lot of fun to use. They're some of my favorite characters, just in general. You know what I mean? The bounty hunters are just like, they've got that sick attitude, that like awesome aura. Like you can just tell you're dealing with some really really crazy characters for sure. But in any event, those were the bounty hunters. All right, we have a couple more bounty hunters. We've got Zam Wessel, both in alien and human form, and you may have actually seen in the background, she had a little animation where she takes a little helmet off and changes form. Zam obviously was in episode 2 of the famous bounty hunter that tried to get Padme. Then we also have Boosh. Boosh is actually Leia in disguise. Boosh was an actual bounty hunter though, so it's a pretty interesting story how she got her suit. And then we're gonna end up starting to move into the Scoundrels, and one of the Scoundrels that we have is the Wandering Wookiee. This is basically your Stan Lee in peril, and you have to find him on all these different locations, and then you can unlock him. As we move into the Scoundrels, we first up have Sedan Athano. Really awesome looking character, and not much else is really known about Sedan Athano. We actually see Sedan here on Maz's castle in Takodana in episode 7. when I saw his Funko Pop, I was like, oh man, this character's gonna be dope. Needless to say, sure. Next we have Balatik, who is the leader of the Guavian Death Squad, I believe. From episode 7, of course, as well. He's got his big old blaster. And we have Tasu Leech, who is the leader of Conjure Club. These two guys are, always at it and searching for money from Han Solo. And then, of course, we have DJ, total scoundrel, who turned on us in episode 8. This is Benicio del Toro's character. So yeah. The Solo Star Wars story pack is pretty much packed with scoundrels. Here we have the Mother of Dragon herself, Kiara, and obviously from the Solo pack, which was available. You have the deluxe edition on day 1. Also have Tobias Beckett, another Solo character. This is obviously Woody Harrelson's character from Solo, A Star Wars Story. And then you have Zori Bliss, who is a pretty dope-looking character. And in Fortnite, imagine with me, okay? There's like maybe 7 or 8 Star Wars characters in Fortnite, and one of them is Zori Bliss. It's so weird. And then, of course, we have Maz Kanata. This is her castle, legendary Yoda-type character who's been around through many, many, many moons and wars and all sorts of stuff. So there you go, Maz Kanata. No, you are not in a Soloception. That is right. There are so many versions of Han Solo in this game, and this is just some of the younger versions from the movies. Obviously, you've got the Endor version of Han Solo right here, and you have his Hoth variation right here with the little Eskimo hood down, and then here he is again with his Eskimo hood up. You've got a classic Episode 6 Carbonite shirt, Han Solo coming out of that deep sleep. Speaking of Carbonite, one of the funniest characters of all time in any LEGO game is Han Solo in Carbonite. The things that he can do in Carbonite is hilarious. You've got your classic Episode 4 Han Solo, picking up a bunch of people, getting them off planet. And then, of course, Episode 5, pretty much iconic level of Han Solo right here. And if that wasn't enough Han Solo for you, we've also got the classic Han Solo right here from the classic character pack. And then there's Old Man Han Solo right here from Episode 7. You've got classic young Han Solo from Solo, A Star Wars Story. So much Han Solo. You also have Han Solo in Stormtrooper outfit. Then we get into Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba right here, both from Episode 4. Listed as scoundrels, you know what I mean? So there you go. There's lots of Lando too. You got Old Man Lando flying the Millennium Falcon. Got another Old Man Lando as seen as a hermit on the Forbidden Valley. You've got Young Man Lando straight out of Episode 5, ready to... this deal is getting worse and worse every time, ready to hopefully not get the deal altered. You've got your classic General Calrissian, which is also actually a pretty dope looking version of Lando. You have your Han Solo Lando. Lando in Han's clothes. That's a little creepy, you know what I mean? And then you have Lando from Jabba's palace. This is actually the screenshot they're using as the game tag on YouTube still. And then you have classic Lando from the 1999 set. And last but not least, there's so many Landos I just couldn't even fit them all on here. We have young Lando, Childish Gambino himself, Donald Glover, from Solo, A Star Wars Story. This is my favorite version of Lando to use, if I'm being honest. Anytime you can get a little Donald Glover in on the action is a good time. And of course, you can't have Scoundrels without Chewbacca. This is a holiday version of Chewbacca. You have to enter a code to get it. This is your standard version of Chewbacca with his bowcaster. Looking pretty cool. You've got the young version of Chewbacca from Solo: A Star Wars Story. You also have Grok Chawa, one of the Wookiees that you get from Kashyyyk. And then, of course, there's Tarful. Up until recently, probably the second most famous Wookiee after Chewbacca, but now I think it's Chris Stanton. You also have Admiral Akbar. It's a trap! Coming out of the heroes category. And then, of course, you have his son, Aftab. Next, we're getting into some of the hero clone troopers. And look at this group here, okay? Look at that. That's so sick to see so many troopers all in one shot. So many different variations. And obviously, a lot of people are a little disappointed that there's no Commander Rex. But he's not in the movies. I don't care about Nick Sant. It's not him. All right, I want to hear it. You don't want that version of Rex anyway. But we do have Commander Cody, and Commander Cody is dope. I think Commander Cody is probably next to Rex, the second most popular of the clone troopers. You can see a lot of them kind of just standing there with their blaster rifles, waiting. I thought Cody would have like an execute Order 66 type of, idle animation, but I guess not. They all kind of shake their heads a little bit, I think, because it's insinuating that they know Order 66 is coming. Obviously, blaster rifle here for Cody. My favorite is actually Commander Gree. I love this Kashyyyk outfit. The kind of like jungle armor. Then you have the Phase 1 trooper. This is your basic clone trooper right here. And then you have a clone trooper commander who has a little extra visor, a little more tactical. He also has a little more of a blaster rifle. You have a clone captain who has a different color scheme, a little bit of a different helmet with the little piece in the back, but there you go. Then you have a clone lieutenant. Listen, just cosplay, pretend this is Rex, okay? No, it's not perfect, but just pretend. All right, good enough. You got a clone sergeant. All of these colors are different, like, battalions, essentially. It just all represents different battalions. I don't remember what they all are offhand. Here's a Phase 2 clone trooper. Slightly different helmet, a little modified armor. You have the 501st Legion. This is Vader's Fist. This is Anakin Skywalker's unit. Very, very famous in the cosplay world, as the 501st are a big organization where you can cosplay and feel at home. You have the Coruscant Guard. This is my absolute favorite version of a clone trooper. This is the Shock Trooper, and I actually have a hot toy of this. Love this one, obviously red. Then we have the 212th Attack Battalion. Must be the same battalion as Cody from Utapau. Then you got this clone trooper from Kashyyyk. Again, just absolutely love the Kashyyyk armor. And then we're back over to Cody. So lots and lots of clones. I don't even think that's all of them, if I'm being honest. If we go back into heroes, I think that there should have been a Kashyyyk scout, but that might be under the scouts. We'll look at that, I guess, in a little bit. And as you can see here, the heroes have a great number of pilots. Everybody has their slightly different pilot suit and slightly different pilot helmet. But look at all these guys. It's not even counting Luke's pilot suit. So right here we have Cy Threnali, just a pilot with a blaster rifle. We have Zev Seneska, just another pilot. Roby Tice, the wife of Commander Dossie. Wedge Antilles, obviously legendary fighter pilot. Theron Net, not a legendary fighter pilot. We have Biggs Darklighter, Luke Skywalker's childhood friend and legendary mustache owner. You have Snap Wexley. Tali Lintra, who I believe is one of the bombers in episode 8. Might even be the sister of Rose. I think one of the pilots in that was Rose's sister. I don't know if it was Tali or if it was Jess. This is Jack Porkins. Everybody remembers Porkins. There's Jess Pava. It might be her. Certainly not Jess Tico, but anyway. Then here's Garvin Dryce, the red leader. Not even wearing a red helmet. But he's got red on the helmet. And then we're back over here to Elo Asti. And that is our pilots. There is a whole lot of Leia going on this screen. And this isn't even all of the different variations of Princess Leia. But this is 12 of them, which is kind of crazy. Starting off with this one right here, the classic version of Leia from the 1999 original set. Definitely a pretty interesting one. Pretty cool to see that how they've all evolved. Of course, here we have her from episode 4. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Just a very, very classic, one of the iconic looking versions of Princess Leia. Then we have Slave Leia from Jabba's palace. I mean, there ain't two ways around it. This is one of the best Lego minifigs ever made. It's awesome. And then you have Cloud City Leia, looking all prim and proper. You have Endor Leia, no helmet. And then here is Endor Leia with helmet. And then you have Endor Leia, just Ewok Village, with her braids and everything. And then you have episode 5 Leia from Hoth. There she is. Very tropical here, though, on Kashyyyk. Then you have episode 5 Leia not on Hoth. I guess this one, her thing is like zipped up. Her little vest is zipped up, and I don't know. Then we start getting into our older version of Carrie Fisher's Leia. This is General Leia Organa. No Skywalker. No Solo. And then here is Leia Organa bandaged after her little accident. And then we have her silver and gray robes. And then, not only that though, there is still this version with her black
General
robes.
Organa to you. Now let's get moving.
And even still, there is this version from episode 9.
Let's not hang around. We got work to do.
It's crazy how many Leias there are, and that doesn't even count the Jedi one I already showed you. And I don't know that there's any others, but man, that's a whole lot of Leia in the Skywalker Saga. Continuing on with our heroes, we have Poe Dameron and his many variations, as you can see right here. This one looks pretty cool. I like this one a lot. Know that it's not Moon Knight. It's Poe Dameron. So this is Black Resistance jacket. And then you have him right here from episode 9. Looking kind of Indiana Jonesy. Kind of like it. Then you have his jacket. This is kind of the look we meet him in. Then you have his Kajimi coat. He's trying to be covert. And then we have his holiday special, which you need a code for. Again, I'll have that video with all the codes in the description. Then you have his pilot look. Best pilot in the Resistance. And then you have him with his helmet. Same thing, just wearing a helmet. Then we start getting into some of our other characters. We have Mon Mothma, who we can see in various points in the trilogy. We see her in... I think she's one of the few characters that's in all 3. I think we see her in episode 7. But then you have Nia Nub, who is Lando Calrissian's kind of co-pilot. He's Lando's Chewbacca, basically. So then you have Commander Daisy. Absolutely no idea. She's in there. I know who she is, but fairly forgettable character in the grand scheme of things. Then we have one of the worst characters in the history of Star Wars, Admiral Holdo. Just absolutely one of the weirdest shoehorned characters into the whole thing. I absolutely hated her in episode 8. Just terrible. And Beaumont Kin, absolutely no idea who he is. None. But we're not even close to done with the heroes. All right, continuing with some of the heroes. Here we have Finn, and there are many versions of Finn. So here, obviously, we have his standard look, and then we have his back-to-tank suit look, and then we have his look from Crate. Very forgettable. Crate, that is. Episode 9, this is my favorite version of Finn right here. I don't think he has a lightsaber in any of them, by the way. He has a blaster there. Blaster. 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 Alright, so yeah. Then you have him from Kijimi with his coat. Blaster, obviously. And then you have his white shirt. Blaster. Then you have Jaina, who is a new character from episode 9. She has a bow and arrow, like a lot of the Wookiees have. So she's pretty cool. We meet her on Kith Beer Kith, right where the Death Star crashed. So, and it is insinuated she could be somehow related to Lando. Then you have Rose Tico, one of the worst characters in Star Wars history. Not because of the actress. The actress is fine. There's her Crate version. And then we have her episode 9 version, which actually looks pretty cool. It was so nonsensical, especially the scene on Crate where she crashes into Finn. I did load in Rose for the first time, and she did have an interaction with Finn. And she's like, "Oh, do you need me to save you again today?" And Finn goes, "Hopefully not." Next up, we have Bulio. Bulio has his head thrown onto a table by Kylo Ren. He obviously is the one that gets the codes to the Resistance. What just happened? She just got zapped. So there's Bulio. And then from the Solo DLC, we have Emphas Nest, who I didn't use enough. She's pretty cool, though. I like her a lot. She's got a cool staff. But she's listed in the heroes. And she does not shoot anything, but in any event, that is another group of heroes. All right, another batch of heroes. This is General Riken. Two versions of him for reasons. This one, he has his hood up. Then you have Cadel Connix. Two versions of her. This is Carrie Fisher's daughter. Not in the movie, in real life. You've got Captain Antilles from episode 4. You have Cara Dune, who is part of the Mandalorian DLC. A little surprised that that she made it in there. I still think she's coming back eventually. You have Rick Ollier. Yep, another Rebellion hero. You have Rebel Friend, all-time classic favorite of a lot of people. This is just an all-timer, you know? Like, if you know, you know. From the OG game. There you go, Rebel Friend. Then we start getting into some of the droids. These are from extras. 2-1B obviously is the medical droid that saved Luke. You have 8D8. It's a droid. You have AD4M. And then EV99. So yeah, these are some of the extras. Just because I was trying to fill out all the slots I had here. So there you go. Alright, continuing on with the heroes. We have Bail Organa. Jimmy Smits himself. And look at all these Gungans and Nabooans coexisting in the absolutely gorgeous Gungan area under the water. We also have Captain Panaka, member of the Naboo Royal Guard. So that's another good one right there. And then we have Captain Typho. We have Boss Nas. Proud Gungan. I wish I could just get those health bars to go away every time I switched. So obviously he is the leader of the Gungans. We have Captain Tarples. And we just have a regular Gungan warrior. Oh god, we have Senator Jar Jar Binks. Yeesh. I feel like he's about to throw Wakanda Forever at us. And you know, if we could just make his eyes red, you could argue that is Sith Lord Jar Jar Binks too. I mean, I feel like most of you guys should just probably assume this is the Sith Lord Jar Jar Binks that you've all been waiting for. And then you've got Misa Jar Jar. Just regular good old Jar Jar Binks. All down here under Misa water. So now we get into our army of 9 Padmes. Holy cow. So here we have Padme from episode 2 where she gets sliced up in the Geonosis arena. And here we have Padme's Handmaiden Orange. This is her outfit when she's in disguise, not as herself. Let's Keira Knightley die for her. We got Padme from the Battle of Naboo. Then you have Padme's pilot outfit. Very interesting. Interesting hair. And you have her with her helmet on. Again, still a blaster rifle. You have Padme, a Prego Padme. Never seen a pregnant Lego minifigure. She's not really showing, so you know what I mean. And then you have the Silver Cape Padme. And then we have her Tatooine disguise.
For democracy! Sorry, got a little carried away.
That's obviously one of her idle animations over there. So, lots of Padme, who is the mother of Luke and Leia. Kind of crazy to think about sometimes, but, you know, there you go. So here we are on the Death Star, starting off with some of the villains, and why not get the entire group of uselessness out of the way? This is some of the officers of the First Order, the Empire, whatever it may be. And first up we have Captain Kennedy, who is just there. And then you have Captain Peavy, obviously of the First Order. And here's just a regular Empire captain. Classic Empire uniforms. You've got Commander Jeer. You got DJ from the First Order. From when he, you know, betrayed us. You've got a First Order officer. Lots of pens. You have the First Order officer Kajimi. Only 2 pens. Does not have to write nearly as much as this guy right there that requires 4 pens. You've got General Hux. Thought you could just, you know, get a little wound and it would be covered. But Pride was having none of that, and he put him down. So there's Pride. And then you have Tarkin. Tarkin is the most notorious of all the Empire's generals. And as you can see, needs 4 pens. And then we've got the Imperial Fleet Trooper. These guys are stationed on the Death Star. And, you know, they're pretty much all dead. And then you have the Imperial Gunnery Technician. Mostly the same guy, just with a cooler mask. Here we have Captain Phasma, who honestly could have been one of the coolest characters in the Star Wars history, but they kind of fluffed it up. I think everybody was excited when they saw the silver, shiny stormtrooper with a cape. And, I mean, she had some moments, but overall, I think you can't classify her as anything other than a disappointment. Was it Gwendolyn Christie? She was hot off Game of Thrones. So, I don't know. I like her, but at the same time, they definitely messed up. What they didn't mess up on, though, is General Grievous. And Grievous is absolutely amazing. One of my favorite characters in the game. And one of the cool things that'll happen is if we go over here to Phasma real quick, if you actually drop in Obi-Wan, amazing. Watch this. Hopefully it works.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Anyway, so that's amazing. That's one of my favorite scenes. If you're a member of my Discord, you know that we like to reenact that one quite a bit. Here we have FN2187. This is Finn, and they did not give him the big red mark across his face. They did it kind of cool in the game, made it like it was paint, but there he is without his helmet. There he is in his First Order uniform. And there he is in his First Order uniform without his hat. But lots of pens. Then you got Rose Tico, again, in her First Order uniform. And then you have her without her hat. Then you start getting into some of the Sith troopers. They are amazing. This is the Sith Jet Trooper. Obviously, if you don't want to use Boba Fett, or you don't want to use Jango Fett, you want a character that can fly a little bit, you know, maybe go ahead and give the Sith Jet Trooper a go. My favorite stormtrooper of all time, this is the Sith Trooper. Just absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, I love red, and this is just such an amazing, epic stormtrooper. I have him in Fortnite. Like, he's in Fortnite. Darth Vader's not in Fortnite. Red Sith Trooper is. And here's a new character I've kind of discovered because of the game. Sovereign Protector. I mean, if I could do a create a bad guy, if character creator was a thing, this is basically who I would have created. Just absolutely amazing. And let's actually go back over to here. And just so that we can get him out of the way, you also have the Emperor's Royal Guard. This is basically the evolution of the Emperor's Royal Guard, Sovereign Protector. You know, you would have thought it was the Praetorian Guard, but it's not. That's Snoke's people. But the Sovereign Protector and the Royal Guard are pretty synonymous with each other. And I grew up loving the Royal Guard, so it makes sense that I love Sovereign Protector. So right here we have all of the First Order Stormtroopers, and they are absolutely amazing. This is one of the more iconic ones. This is Traitor! So he's got his little baton, no shield. He had his shield in the last one, but man, love the effect that it looks right there. Throws the little grenade. Then you have the First Order Flame Trooper. I forgot he's a thing, to be honest with you. But one of the few characters that can do some flame damage. So that's pretty cool. He looks awesome. You've got the First Order Jet Trooper. Like the Sith Trooper, you can fly with him. So if you don't want to use Boba and Jango, you can use either of those troopers. You've got the First Order Snow Trooper. So a pretty cool evolution from the OG snowtroopers. Then you have the Cold Weather Assault Trooper, which as best I can tell is the same guy, just with a cape instead of little side dress thing. Stormtrooper, First Order Squad Leader. Double pistols, apparently. That's what separates them. You become a squad leader once you can dual wield. We've got the Stormtrooper of the First Order, just a regular Stormtrooper. Yeah, I snuck a fit in there. You got the Driver of the First Order. Really, just honestly, a slight difference on his chest plate design. You have the First Order Sergeant, who has like a pauldron on his right shoulder. Denotes that he is an officer. Then you have another one, First Order officer. Actually, he was a sergeant. This is the officer with the black trim red pauldron. And here's your heavy assault trooper. Oh wow! I don't think I've used him yet, but he's got like this crazy little gun that kind of has to like wind up almost. Look at all these troopers. I love having all these characters on the screen, by the way. So there's that guy, also probably apparently an officer. And then we are back to FN 2199, the traitor. Rounding out our villains, we have the Droid Army. Some of these are actually in extra and not under villain. We're actually on the Trade Federation ship. The B1 Destroyer Droid, for some reason, is under extras. Don't really know why. As is the Droidica, which is actually super cool. Like, not gonna lie, this is actually a pretty dope little apparatus. You wouldn't necessarily think it would be. Here you have Mr. Bones, who, if I'm being honest, probably should have been on my top 10 list. I feel like it was a bit of an oversight. He is pretty cool. Definitely the coolest of all these battle droids. He has a pretty cool personality that sometimes comes out a little bit. And he's red. So really, what else do you need? You also have Roger. I don't know a lot about Roger, but you guys do. So he's here. He's part of a very long quest to unlock. And then you have your regular B1 battle droid. Roger, Roger. And you have your commander. Basically just a splatter of paint on his head. You've got the Geonosis battle droid. They're a little darker, so they're tactical, I guess. And then the heavy assault. Some brother-on-brother crime here. Alright, anyway. You've got the Kashyyyk battle droid. These are actually kind of cool. I like the way that they're kind of decorated a little bit. You know, obviously not tactical enough, but you've got the security droid. He's got his little red vest, let you know he means business. And then that's pretty much it for the battle droids. Now let's talk about the classic stormtroopers. We've got some stormtroopers, some sand troopers. These are the OGs of the trooper community, if you will. Obviously, this is a pretty cool shot from the which sand trooper is that? That's the sand trooper sergeant. Then you have the regular sand trooper. Don't know which droids they're looking for. Then here's the sand trooper commander. I honestly had not used this gun until now, and now I've used it on 2 different characters. So the sand troopers are definitely pretty cool. So there's your sand trooper squad. Then you get into your scout trooper, and these are the guys you see on Endor. Mostly. You could pretty much use them anywhere, but Endor is where we basically see them for the first time in Return of the Jedi. Then you've got your Kashyyyk trooper, I guess this technically probably could have gone with the clones, but he's listed as a villain, so I digress. You've got your standard classic stormtrooper with impeccable aim. They shoot everything, they hit everything. They are very reliable. And here is your stormtrooper Empire Commander. Kind of looks a little bit like the Sand Trooper, but not. It does have a similar style gun. Apparently only commanders can shoot this amazing piece of machinery. You've got your Empire Sergeant. He's got the black pauldron. So that's how you know he's a boss. You got your classic Snow Trooper. Raiding Hoth like a boss. You got your First Order Special Forces fighter pilot. Love this. Kind of looks like it's out of Squadrons. Or the story mode of Battlefront 2. What was her name? Iden Versio. And then you have your regular First Order pilot. And then your classic TIE fighter pilot. So those are some more of your troopers. These are all these are all mostly your classic stormtroopers, obviously with the two First Order pilots mixed in as well. At long last, we have the Knights of Ren. I know we've already seen Kylo Ren, but have you seen his army? Right here we have Apalek, and he is a part of the Knights of Ren. He has this amazing vibro energy axe. Just absolutely a cool thing. The Knights of Ren obviously are something that we had heard about, but we actually saw them. Here's Cardo. We actually got to see them in episode 9. So Cardo has this big old blaster rifle, which is pretty cool. And you have Kuruk, who also has an interesting blaster rifle. So there's Kuruk. And then, of course, you have Trudgeon, who has a very interesting, like, kind of like sword. And then you have Usher, who has the voice of a god. Wait, wrong Usher. He's got like almost like a mace. And then lastly, we have Vickrel, who I think is probably who most people see when they think of the Knights of Ren. I feel like he is probably the most popular of the group. But anyway, that is Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren. Alright, we're starting to dip into the extras. I wanted to get all the droids out of the way. But first we have one of the coolest characters in all of Star Wars. It is Babu Freak, and he is adorable. He is very, very awesome. He fixed droids, and so it's appropriate that he is the leader of this droid squad. The Magna Guard dancing back there is fantastic. Here's the Gonk droid. The Gonk droid quest is amazing, and you end up getting this huge Gonk ship. So this is obviously your Gonk Overlord. This is the holiday version, which you need a code to get. So there you go. And then you have Gonkatine, the evil master of all the Gonks. And your overlord, he can help save you 10% on your car insurance. And he would also like to talk to you about your extended warranty for your vehicle. So here we have the mouse droid, which is always kind of cool. So that's just kind of funny. Not funny is the Magna Guard, and dude, these Magna Guards used to be no joke in like any video game you ever play. You gotta fight these Magna Guards, and they're always like just monsters. And they did a good job with them here in this game too. Very athletic. You saw them dancing back there. So it's definitely a cool fig. Plus I love that like lightning action, the way that it kind of like reflects on them. So that's cool. Here you have the Imperial Probe Droid. I think it's kind of funny, having put one together recently, how they use like little mini guns down the bottom. So that's kind of cool. And then you've got this thing, the LC-24 fire droid. Apparently this is what they use on Agent Claws to put out fires. And you've got the pit droid. And he doesn't do much of anything, but exists. And then you have the Sith probe droid, which is kind of cool. I just wish it would fly, like actually fly. And then we're back to Babu Freak. So now we're on Kamino, and we've got our Astromech droid army, and look at all of these. They look crazy. It's so adorable to see them all like this. And obviously we've got some R5 units. This one is actually G8R3, and it's got a little bit of a yellow tint to it. This one I love, K3R1, kind of like a turquoise looking color. Very, very, very cool. And then you have R5-2JE, very classic red, white, and blue look. And then R5D4. I don't really know what the difference is between the two of these. They're very, very similar. We have R5M2, which looks like R2D2 just with one of these black tops on it. They actually have a place at Disney where you can build your own droid, and I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. R4M9 looks like the green R2 unit with just a different helmet, basically. Then you have K2A6, a light green R2 unit, and then R2N3, which is a little bit of a darker green. And then R2KT, which is a very, very famous droid named after, I believe, a girl named Katie that passed away. Very, very sad story, but really cool charitable droid. R2Q5, like super dope, dark Astromech droid. And then back around. Now we have even more Astromech droids. Two of my favorites are the ones with all the red. So right here we have R4 P17 and then R2 R9. These are the two droids I think I use the most, simply because, as I've established, I love the color red. And they're just really cool looking droids. Next we have BB9E, which is our, Sith dark side first order version of a BB unit. Speaking of BB, well, this is R2D2, and this is his waiter droid as seen on Jabba's sail barge. And then we have just straightforward normal R2D2, just absolute classic character. And then a little bit of a dirty, swampy R2D2 right there. The new star of the droid army is BB-8, and he is in his disguise. And then you've got BB-8 himself. The BB units are pretty cool, the way that they work. And then not really an Astromech, but we have Dio, who has a Christmas version where you can get from the holiday codes. And then his regular variation. It was really cool. I actually really like this little guy a lot. And the droids in general. The droids in general are all really cool. A lot of other NPCs will not perceive them as aggressive. The same goes for the protocol droids. So pretty cool stuff with the droids. They're a little less useless this time around. And we will carry on. Now we have a bunch of the different protocol droids. Protocol droids is a class, and they are very useful. They speak different languages, so that when you have, characters that don't speak Galactic Basic, and you can't understand them, if you switch to a protocol droid, you will be able to actually read it in English, and it'll make things a little bit easier. It's kind of cool how they added that feature. If you don't know, there is also a data card that you can use all the way at the bottom. of the data cards, you will find Universal Translator, and that will basically make that kind of moot. This is R3PO, one of the 3PO units. He's red. This is one of the many variations of C3PO. Then there's the holiday special C3PO. I guess we're just going to go through C3PO now, since that's who's popping up. So then you've got the Kajimi Coat 3C3PO.
If that is of any use today.
We've got episode 1 version.
I am C3PO. How may I be of assistance?
And you got the red arm.
I am over 6 million forms of communication, if that is of any use today.
It's a little bit useful, I would say. And you have the red eyes, Murderbot 3PO.
I am C3PO. How may I be of assistance?
I think that one might be one of the cooler ones, actually. I mean, I know, look, I understand. It's just basically a recolor. Then you got the rusted. Okay, so rusted's out. This is M389. Probably one of the, obviously one of the few protocol droids that isn't a 3PO unit. Then here's that rusted one that we just got to, which is it's actually kind of cool. Then you have E3PO. It's kind of just a little bit more of a grayish silver. Then you have hints. This is the droid that gives you all the little hints on the helipad. Then you have K3PO. Super white. And then you have TC14. Very gray and silver. Then we're back to RA7, who again, one of 2 very unique protocol bots. Now, one of the cool things you can actually do with the protocol bots or droids is you can kind of blow them up so that you can get into some smaller spaces with half their body, and you can also actually use just their legs to kind of create 2 different characters, if you will, and then you basically can just reassemble. So one of the really unique features, and I'll be honest with you, like, this is just a collection of different C3PO kind of clones. So basically it's just pick your flavor, and my flavor is generally R3PO because I do find him to be pretty cool. I do like the red droid, so that is our protocol droids. Alright, so here we have all the Scavengers on the screen, and we start off with the Jawa. Jawa's pretty cool. Then we start getting into some Kuil. This is from the Mandalorian DLC. Then we get into some of the Ewoks. We got Logray. And then we got Poplu. We got Tebow. We got T-Do from Takadana. Not Takadana, Jakku. We got a Tusken Raider. They all have their different things. We got Wicket, who has a bow. Didn't even know that. Then we have Rey. Now Rey, there are 3 different variations of Rey as a scavenger. So if we actually go in, we can choose her episode 7 scavenger outfit, which is right there. And then we can go in and we can choose her Starkiller base outfit, which really isn't that much different, except for the fact that she has a lightsaber. Now, all of these characters right here, as you can see, are Scavenger class, and what they can do is they can bring out this Breaker Blaster, which you can shoot at specific walls, and it'll break those down and let you in. Usually there's a Kyber brick hidden there. You can also glide. So we could take a glider and fly to our doom. So obviously the Ewoks have that style glider, and you can get over to, say, Kuil. He puts on his glider, it's like a jetpack, and then we get over to, who are we gonna get to? We get over to the Tusken Raider, and they have the basic jetpack as well. So, and then of course we also have the net launcher, and you are going to notice there are going to be some areas where you can use this net launcher. I think there's one over here. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to shoot the net up, and it's going to give you a place to climb. So there you can see, boom, right there. So it's got a net, and you can climb the net and get to different places. So that is all of the scavengers right there. All right, we're getting to the nitty gritty. These are just a bunch of randoms in the extras category. Right here we have this creature from Octo. It is Alcida Auka. Then from here in the Forbidden Valley we have Nambi Gima. Yeah. And we also have Babajo, who is weird. Then there's Delso Prin. I don't know why he's an extra. I always thought he was like a resistance pilot, but I digress. You have Kreeb Korora. I literally have no idea. I'm assuming also from Acto. But yeah, there's the alien. You have the Master Code Breaker, who looks exactly like the swordsman in Hawkeye. You can't convince me that's not him. You have Tian Madon from Utapau. So there you go. You have Unkar Plut. He will give you quarter portion. We have Poggle the Lesser, who doesn't fly, from Geonosis. We have Lama Su from Camino. And we have Masamita.
The office of the Chancellor can no longer contain me.
So there you go, from Chancellor Palpatine's place. We also have Lobot. Lobot is like the right-hand man of Lando Calrissian. From the Cloud City. We also have the Mustafarian, who looks absolutely dope. Actually looks even cooler off of Mustafar, where you don't have that red glow kind of like intertwining with his armor. But there you go, the Mustafarian. We also have Dexter Jetster, who is a long way from his diner on Coruscant, but he is funny, and I don't think he likes Poggle the Lesser. So there you go. Alright, we have Grumgar, one of the very few big figs in the game. I would have thought he would have been under Bounty Hunters, because Belize Natal is in there, but I digress. We also apparently missed Temery Blag, who may or may not have the Force. He certainly doesn't use the Force. Obviously, we saw him in episode 8. Apparently, I missed Jango Fett's clone.
Bounty hunter, I'm your man.
So I don't know. He's in extras, and we also have.
There will be no negotiations today.
And we have. Oh, my battery's almost dead. We also have Rune Hako. So obviously they are part of the Trade Federation and all that good stuff. And yeah, there will get more extras here. All right, here we are on Tatooine with Malakili and his Rancor. I don't really think anybody cares about Malakili, but he is the keeper of the Rancor. So I figured I'd show them off together. And of course, you got the Rancor, which is just a monster, literally. Really the only major big fig in the game. There's the Wampa too, which I guess, even though we're in the desert, it doesn't necessarily make sense to have the Wampa here. We do. And I'm going to be honest with you, I always thought a Wampa would be way smaller than a Rancor. I don't know if this is to scale or not, but can you imagine these two in a battle? That'd be crazy. Alright, we are in the extras and we're getting very close to being done. We've got Bib Fortuna, who is the right-hand man of Jabba the Hutt. And look at how sinister he looks. He actually ends up taking over for Jabba the Hutt after he dies. And we see that in The Mandalorian, which is pretty cool. Then you have Jabba the Hutt himself. Big old slug. Kind of weird, kind of random. But kind of fun to play with, not gonna lie. We also have Mama the Hutt. Literally the same thing, just more flamboyant. We've got Salacious Crumb, who is hilarious, runs really funny. Total G. We've also got the Weequay Thug. He's got his axe and his very serious face. We've got Max Rebo from the Max Rebo band. Just a cute little guy. Got the Gamorrean Guard. They have proven their worth many times over. Got Sai Snoodles. Thought she could escape Jabba. She could not. You got Watto. Like, I'm just really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. We're almost done. So Watto is from Mos Espa. We're back to Bib. So we got two of the dancers for Jabba. We have Greta and we have Ula. You unlock them together, and these are two of Jabba's dancers. We also got baby baby Boba Fett mixed up in everything, but there he is. You got Ubla Mulbro.
The beautiful, the gracious, the unmistakable Ubla Mulbro.
So she comes from Canto Bight, and you've got Figrin Dan, who just wants to play his instruments. You've got Wilro Hood, the famous ice cream maker guy from Cloud City. You've got the Ugnaught, super ugly, super scavengery. I don't know why they're not in the scavenger category. I think they could have fit in pretty well. We have Reese, and then we also have Mahonic.
Let's not loiter. I presume we have an objective.
So Reese and Mahonic are the same race. One of them is Pod Racer, and the other one may also be a Pod Racer. Alright, we're getting down to our last few characters, and this is probably who a lot of people might have wanted me to lead off with. We have our live slug reaction from Claude. Somewhat beloved meme character. And there he is. Here we have Fode and Bede. They are the announcers of the pod racing. So there you go. They're very interesting, unique characters. Here we have Gazgano, who I'm believing is a racer. I don't even remember unlocking this guy, to be honest with you. We have Odie Mandrell, one of the pod racer pilots. We've got Rats Tyrell, you guessed it, pod racer extraordinaire. You have Sebulba, who obviously won lots of pod races and is infamous, if you will. Very cool and unique character. Then you have Shmi Skywalker. This is the mother of Anakin. And we are about to embark on our final group.
Hey!
All right, we've reached the end. These are the final characters. Right here we have the Sith Acolyte, all dark and mysterious. And with him we have the Praetorian Guard. Of course, this is who is protecting Snoke in episode 8. And they were the ones that fought Kylo Ren and Rey. Here is Queen Amidala. I guess I missed her. She was somehow an extra instead of heroes. I don't know why. But here you have the first guard. Pretty cool looking, member of the Praetorian Guard. Kind of reminds you of the Royal Guard a little bit. Here is the 7th guard. They all have kind of slightly different weapons. This is the 3rd guard right here. And then the 8th guard, the big old staff. And one other character, the last character, is the Senate guard, who is here to basically watch over Queen Amidala. So, thank you guys so much for sticking with me and watching this video. This is a video I love doing. With 380 plus characters. This was a long one and very, very taxing. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoy LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, available now. There will be a few more character passes coming. And of course, once those come out, I'll do a video with all the DLC. I did work in some of the DLCs that are available now into this video. So, just amazing. Who are some of your favorite characters? And let me know that you actually made it to this point in the video. Haha. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you.